against him.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Factutainment. So far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti, and today I am joined by uh, my friend Bethany.
Let's go find some dino China.
Is that what you were editing earlier?
Yes.
Okay. And then because we are watching The Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 revival, we have the
Nobody else is
dedicated
here.
Brit, Avery.
It's almost over.
And we are joined by Supreme Overlord of the channel, Aura Master.
Oh god, it's almost over. It's almost fucking over.
Yeah, that kind of summarizes our opinion on Wild Dinosaurs 2025. Because Wild Dinosaurs 1999 was like, oh, this is fun. We kind of enjoy this. And then 2025 is not that. Anyway, we'll watch the final episode of Wild Dinosaurs 2025, which it's called Island of Giants. There is exactly one species of giant
One giant.
in this
Yep.
episode.
It's not. This isn't going to be a long review. There's only like 2 dinosaurs in this, 2.5 maybe.
There's 2 dinosaurs and a dead pliosaur that's unidentified officially on the wiki.
This is us. This is us watching this episode.
And it doesn't load. Awesome. Okay.
So we just watched a dinosaur NTR.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so Walking with
Dinosaurs in particular.
Dinosaurs 2025 is the only Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 only has one episode that's not in the Cretaceous, and that is Island of Giants. And it is the one of only 2 episodes not set in Cretaceous North America, with the other being the River Dragon. And
Dynamite.
notably, it's the only episode. Well, I guess Band of Brothers technically follows both the Utah Raptors and the Gastonia. But I was going to be like, it's the only episode to not focus on either a ceratopsian or a theropod.
Yeah.
Being the only one that focuses on sauropods. And honestly, 2 of these episodes heavily focus on Tyrannosaurus. So, anyway. So, it's also the last one, but it's the last episode in viewing order, but the first one chronologically. Which I don't know
I was actually
why they did that.
after we watched this episode, I went downstairs to get some coffee. I was talking to this about my mom, and my mom said, "Oh yeah, I saw this episode on TV." It sounds like she had an easier time watching this episode than we did. Unlike a Roku TV.
It aired on like PBS for a bit.
Phoebus.
Alright, so in general, the episode focuses on a creature known as Old Grande. Well, no, first it starts off with scientists digging up the bones of Old Grande in Portugal.
Yeah, they're speaking English, but because they have an accent, there are built-in English subtitles that aren't these, like different subtitles for what they're saying, even though they're speaking English.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, it actually cuts down to an overview of the late Cretaceous, how the it was late Jurassic, how the Iberian Peninsula was an island at the time. And they don't ever actually state it in the episode, but this focuses on the La Joreña Formation.
That's all right.
So the La Joreña Formation is a fossil-rich geological formation in Portugal, and I think it may be a little bit into Spain. It's kind of called a sister formation to like the Morrison in North America or the Tendaguru Formation in Africa. And it's because a lot of very similar animals, or in some cases the same like genus of animals, are found in the different formations. So, for example, Ceratosaurus is found in all three, which is interesting because along with dinosaurs, Ceratosaurus never shows up in any of them. Torvosaurus and Allosaurus are both found in the Morrison as well as La Joreña. Stegosaurus is found in both. There are similar sauropods found in both. So you see brachiosaurs, you see diplodocids, you see more apatosaurian sauropods, you see some early rebecasaurid, you see some small ornithopods, you see some other
Rebeccasaurus was like confused with
stegosaurs.
dinosaurs.
So, like, what'd you say?
Nothing.
So, like in Tanzania, you see Kentrosaurus, the smaller one, and then in the La Joreña, you see, I want to say Dacenturus is one. Yeah, Dacenturus. You see some early ankylosaurs. You see a lot of variety in dinosaurs that have really good fossils from all three of these formations. And I bring this up repeatedly because, unlike in Time of Titans from the original Walking with Dinosaurs series, which had a decent mix because you had Diplodocus, you had Brachiosaurus, you had Ornitholestes, Allosaurus, Stegosaurus, unnamed dead ornithopod that got burned in fire, and you have Arugognathus, which didn't exist in the area in the time period, but may have actually more. So Arugognathus would have been more contemporary to the La Joreña Formation. So, because it lived in Europe at the time. We have and then in Ballad of Big Al, they add in Apatosaurus. They give you more focus on the different ornithopods. They have two instead of just one. You have more focus spotlight on several of the sauropods and other carnivores. In Walking with Dinosaurs 2025, Island of Giants, there are two dinosaurs. Two species of dinosaurs in the entire episode.
Based on the framing of this episode, there's only like 5 dinosaurs on this island total.
Entire fucking island, yeah.
The entire island.
Yeah.
This honestly feels like they were trying to go for like a Big Al angle. Like, oh, watch this guy suffer.
So I guess we should cover the overview of the episode. So, walking.
I also want to point out. The weird background of this episode, because, like, where the scenes are, because I swear to God, they go from a beach to a forest, back to a beach, a whole bunch of scenes on the beach, and then back to the forest.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just.
I honestly feel like some of these scenes were just out of order.
Yeah, and honestly, I was getting very tired of shots over and over.
Oh, we'll get to the recycled shots.
Yeah, so
No, you don't
I
understand.
just pulling this up because this is from a documentary. I think it came out almost 20 years earlier. Well, maybe not full 20 years, but that covers La Harena Formation. And they're in just one shot in this documentary, they have 5
more
kinds of
species.
dinosaurs.
There's more dinosaurs in this one shot than there are in this entire episode.
Because you have
3
an
minutes.
Allosaurus, you have, I forget what stegosaur these are. This is another type of stegosaur. And then you have 2 kinds of sauropods in the background. Anyway. So after we leave the scientists digging up the remains of Old Grande, because the format of this series is scientists find the skeleton of a dinosaur that's going to be the focal dinosaur of the episode, which is not a bad format in itself. It's just how they handle it that's kind of not great.
Oh, we'll get
Yeah,
to
it
how they
takes
handle
like
it.
it takes like 10% of the episode runtime before we actually get any visuals of dinosaurs.
This is us. This is us right now.
So the starting shot actually opens with a dead, unidentified pliosaur. I have no idea what pliosaur this is.
It's
tried to
Harry the
find out
Pliosaur.
information. Apparently, no one
Harry the
cares enough to
Pliosaur?
identify it either. And then you have Torvosaurus. So Torvosaurus is actually a dinosaur I've done some research on before. So Torvosaurus is a genus of carnivorous megalosaurid theropod dinosaur that lived during the middle and late Jurassic period throughout what is now Colorado, Portugal, Germany, as well as possibly England, Tanzania, and Uruguay. The first discovered remains referable to Torvosaurus were discovered in 1899 by Elmer Riggs in the Freeze-Out Hills of southwestern Wyoming, about
Sounds
11
awesome.
miles north of Medicine Bow.
Sounds like a Sonic level.
Yeah. The material consisted of part of the left foot and right hand, and were taken to the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, Illinois, where they were stored until being rediscovered around 2010. The specimen was assigned to Torvosaurus tanneri after being described in 2014. More remains of large theropod from what is now believed to be Torvosaurus were discovered in the Tendaguru Formation of Tanzania and was named Megalosaurus ingens by Werner Jasnick in 1920. However, the name Torvosaurus didn't appear until the type specimen was found in Dry Mesa Quarry, Colorado in 1962, and later named and described in 1979 as Torvosaurus tanneri by Peter Malcolm Galton and James Alvin Jensen. As of 2021, 2 species are known, Torvosaurus tanneri and Torvosaurus guarenii. At 33 feet in length and 5 tons in weight, the very robust Torvosaurus, not only the largest megalosaurid known, is considered to be one of the largest predators of the Jurassic period as a whole. Because it shared its environment with other large carnivores such as Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus, it is thought that the 3 may have coexisted by having different dietary preferences, with Torvosaurus acting as a super carnivore or possibly large scavenger, scaring off other predators from their kills and primarily eating the bones of the animals. Additionally, Torvosaurus, with its big skull, strong bite pressure, and large, powerful body, may have been specialized in opening up and dismembering large sauropod carcasses, which would have allowed smaller theropods like Allosaurus better access, in a possible commensal relationship like certain species of vultures today. So I guess you can make an argument that there's 2 giants on the island of giants. You could have probably put way more giants in the island of giants.
I was gonna say big Grande, old Grande, just did that to be a dick.
Big Grande.
I don't fucking know. I thought his name was El Grande. Old Grande. It was like,
It's
yeah, these two are arguing over this fucking dead corpse, and then big guy just shows up and scares him off for no reason.
That is
Yeah, that was
that
a
is
little
what
fucked up.
happens. Yeah.
Like there was no reason to do that.
Minding my own fucking business.
I guess I have some thoughts
no,
about
there
like.
there was a reason, and that reason was so they didn't have to animate them fighting.
No.
I have some thoughts on this once I'm done summarizing the episode. But basically, yeah, the Astorosaurus, they're fighting over the Pliosaur corpse, and then Old Grande shows up, just kind of scares them, and then leaves.
Also, look at how low resolution this background is. Like Avery was saying, the animation just isn't that good.
So yeah, Old Grande, they're on a beach, and he just starts bellowing bellowing at and following this female.
It's also just there.
She's also there, and they know each other, but she doesn't want to mate. But so he just follows her and hangs out for a while.
Like they were.
Yeah,
There's
because it
so
hadn't
much.
rained yet or something.
Well, no, we hadn't gotten there yet. So this part is just them walking along the beach, and there's just so much of this episode is them walking after each other. It's like they're both walking at the same pace, but they're so far away from each other they can't catch up.
She's just being a tsundere.
So they do mention that they do mention a little bit later that the female sauropods like Lucititan will probably breed right after the rain so that there's plenty of vegetation for when the young hatch
Well,
and
yeah,
feed.
this is when they're at the forest, though.
Yeah. Anyway, then we have another segment of scientists, this time with a backhoe, as they're
And then they're at the
uncovering
forest.
more remains of Old Grande, and they're speculating about his life. And then you cut to the forest, where Old Grande and the female are just kind of hanging out and eating.
And then they talk about the rains thing.
Yeah, that's when
Like-
they mentioned the rains thing. Yeah.
And then another segment.
Then we cut to scientists again. More
Okay, yeah,
day.
this is okay. Yeah, this is they have a scene transition here where you see the scientists here on the right. The camera pans bottom left to top right, and the dinosaurs at the bottom left. So it's like these fuckers are over here looking for dinosaur bones, and the dinosaurs are just down to the left. Are they stupid?
To be fair, I feel like they have a scene like that in every episode where like,
No,
it's
but-
like no,
No, they did that like one other time in
really?
like a flying dinosaur episode. It's like they're digging on a cliff, and then you see the dinosaur in the background. They pan over to the dinosaur in the background. It's like, look behind you, look. They do not do it on.
No. So they're uncovering. They're talking about like the general size of how big Old Grande would have been.
Taco Bell Grande. Oh,
And
then we
then
cut to the NTR.
Yep. We cut to Old Grande and the female are hanging out still. It's not quite time for breeding yet. But a younger, like, buck male decides to challenge Old
No.
Grande for companionship of the female. Like, and this is.
Woman.
So they're kind of portraying it like how deer will fight each other for the right to mate, even though the female's not ready to mate yet. And you can see that the younger male has this red spotted pattern, and Old Grande has this blue, and it's kind of like it's like this fleshy pink tone
It's
pattern.
like Mario and Bowser fighting over Peach.
Isn't it kind of blue as well?
That's
I'm
what
not crazy,
I
right?
said,
Like,
yeah.
He said blue.
oh,
He
sorry,
said blue.
you said fleshy. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
And
blue
blue.
and
You
then
said blue first.
like this fleshy pink color.
And the younger male loses and is a
Yeah, because they're having like a bit of
and
a
fucking sucker punches.
they're having like this display contest, and then Grande wins the display contest after like doing a stomp, and then he
Tapping
turns
his feet.
to go back to the female, and then the younger male rears up on him and breaks his leg by putting all his weight on
Yeah,
that.
break his legs.
Fucking sucker punches him. Yeah.
And you can see like he's breaking his hip, yeah. And then he kind of like walks off with the female because the female shows no loyalty,
Yeah.
I guess.
This
although
says a
she
lot about
kinda
society.
does,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, because apparently, like, honorability is not a desirable trait. Apparently.
These are dinosaurs. They don't have sense of honor and dignity.
I
These
know. I
are godless
know.
heathens.
So
I know.
Good thing
It's
they're dead.
the two leave Old Grande on the beach, and then we cut to another paleontological segment.
Okay.
One of two, featuring there's these footprints on the side of a cliff, and they're trying to. The scientists are like they are trying to study them, and they have one guy rappelling down the side, right? So then he's measuring. So they keep going back to these footprints, saying stuff like, at first they're like, we can tell he was injured and walking with a limp from this footprint track. And they go back and they're
Oh
like,
yes,
and then we can figure
the
out how fast he was
riveting
going. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the riveting footstep distance measuring segment.
This
Which
is worth bringing up.
is neat, and I wouldn't be that mad if it was just like a 15-second clip.
Well, because then they mentioned the carnivore footprints, and they're like, "Ooh, what could these be? I wonder if it's the thing we showed at the beginning of the episode."
And then they go, "Oh, Torvosaurus is a theropod dinosaur." I'm like, "We've been over this."
But guys, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Stop padding.
Because remember, this is just the first segment on the footprints.
Yeah. So
Because then we cut to
okay. So this part's weird.
yeah. Then it cuts to the beach again. In the future, there's the pliosaur corpse,
In the future.
and then Old Grande limps over, and then starts eating the bones.
Like again, yeah, he's limping, but he's able to walk.
Yeah.
Noting that. Eating the bones.
He's eating the bones.
Osteoporosis. No, I'm kidding.
And
That's not
this is called osteophagy, and it's a thing that a lot of animals do is they eat bones for the calcium and other minerals to help them repair themselves. I think a famous example of this that I always bring up is how, did you know that there are porcupines in Italy? Did you know one consistent issue that archaeologists have to deal with in Italy is that most graves from over a couple hundred years ago do not have bones anymore because the porcupines ate them because they need the calcium for their quills.
Oh no!
And famously, tortoises also eat a lot of bones because of their shells.
Yeah, calcium for their shells. Yeah.
Pangolins also eat a lot of bones. And
Did you know that
it's part of the reason why Gigantopithecus bones are so rare. We have like a jawbone and then teeth, is because the areas where Gigantopithecus was hanging out was also home to tortoises, porcupines, and pangolins, and they would
Delicious.
basically eat all the bones. Except for the ones that had enamel on them, because enamel doesn't digest well. So the only record
And
we
it's
have of
also
Gigantopithecus
in general.
is teeth because of this.
Did you guys know
It's
that
good.
osteo means bone and phagia means to eat?
Yes.
Yes, I did know this.
Well, eat my
Okay,
ass.
turns out teeth are hard to chew when the thing you're chewing them with are teeth.
Gluteomanglia. Gluteophagia.
I eat my teeth pretty okay.
But yeah, so Old Grande eats the bones to help heal his bone, which, makes sense.
Got bones.
And then it cuts to they find some theropod footprints, but notably, the guy rappelling down the mountain doesn't get to him because he says it's too dangerous to rappel down the mountain any further. So they send a drone.
And
Which
I
makes you
loudly
question,
shouted,
why didn't they just send the drone in the first?
like, why did you post to show any of that?
Yeah, but then they talk about how there's two
You're
sets of
responsible for fucking
footprints.
drone again.
There's two sets of footprints. There's the Lucititan footprints, and then there are what are clearly theropod
Dinosaurs.
footprints. And at first I was
There's only
speculating.
one.
Go ahead.
There's only one set of footprints from when Jesus was carrying a Lusotitan.
And I was speculating out loud, like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do like different carnivore. They're going to do like Allosaurus or like Ceratosaurus or maybe one of the other ones. Nope, it's Torosaurus again.
I think they ran out of budget by this point.
This
And
is
they-
the first episode.
It's not.
All right, I
Oh,
could be. I could.
well-
I could have been. I could have been watching Penny and Stocking this whole time.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway.
the crossover I want.
Then they go over Torosaurus in depth, but they've already shown Torosaurus. This is the thing that happens in this series quite a bit, where they'll go after the dinosaur. They'll explain in detail what the dinosaur is or the prehistoric creature, but it's not the first time you've seen it. It's like the second or third time. But then they have this segment.
Wait, actually,
Good.
didn't you say that this was meant to be like the first episode or something?
No.
Chronologically, because it's the Jurassic, it's chronologically the first episode.
Yeah.
What if this was meant to be the first episode?
And then just got
That's why
shuffled
they
around.
do that.
Maybe.
I thought you meant like this was the first one. Like you know how with like a lot of TV shows, like the first episode that you see typically isn't like the first episode that they make, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Or like how the original Walking with Dinosaurs, the first episode ever made was Cruel Seas.
Yeah.
But it's the third episode overall.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's what I was thinking.
then we cut to
Or how
Old
in some
Grande
episodes.
passed out on a beach.
Yeah, okay, so this is the thing. This is the thing where it feels like the scenes are out of order because it goes from him being knocked down on the beach with his injured leg to him walking with a limp and eating bones to him being down on the beach again, unable to stand up.
Yeah.
I think he was just EP.
Yeah.
Because this is the scene where they start reusing shots from previous segments where he tries to stand up and can't stand up. It's like the same animations.
So, yeah, you have him sleeping on a beach. A Torvosaurus shows up and can see that Old Grande is not doing so hot health-wise. But he's still such a big prey animal in comparison. The Torvosaurus doesn't think he can kill him in a one-on-one fight. So he's doing a thing, and I
I've
think
been-
it's unique that they show that some predators in our real world do, which is they will just follow a prey animal that is sick or is injured and wait for it to die on its own or like get
Sorry.
weakened.
Or get weak enough to take out, yeah.
Like
Carnivore loaf.
Like this happens notably with several types of scavengers or things we would traditionally associate with scavenging. Um, like Avery brought up a famous example is Komodo dragons. Sometimes Komodo dragons will do that. Sometimes Komodo dragons will also do the thing of they'll intentionally inflict the wound that then slowly kills the animal and then just kind of wait for it to die. Bears do this quite a bit where they'll just like follow a creature till it dies. Apes do this sometimes, where they'll just like wait for an animal to die before eating it.
Yeah, actually, it's a lot of what we did in our ancient history. We'd injure something with spears and then just follow it until it dies.
Yeah,
I did that just today.
the thing is, you don't launch like 47 spears to try and kill one mastodon. You launch 6, get a good shot, and then you follow it for 12 hours till it bleeds out to the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright. So then we cut to. It's not a paleontological segment for once. I thought we were going to cut to a paleontological segment.
Yeah,
But it
I think
cuts
this is the
to later in the
longest
day.
continuous segment of dinosaur in this episode, I think.
Yeah. So it cuts to that
We
night.
spend, we spend so much time on this fucking beach, it feels like it goes on for longer than it really does.
So it cuts to night, and the Torvosaurus tries to take out old Grande because Grande went to sleep. Then Grande wakes up and then is able to like lift his head up and like shake off the Torvosaurus before he can do any more damage to him.
Mhm.
And they go back to doing their stalemate. And then eventually both Grande and the Torvosaurus fall asleep. But Grande wakes up first and is able to stand up all the way. And then the Torvosaurus just kind of like stops following him and gives up.
God
Yeah,
damn it!
which is just like, I've been waiting here all night and I've got nothing to fucking show for.
And then we cut to another paleontological segment. And they're talking about like how big Grande was again. And then they cut
Grande
to
size.
Grande walking through a desert.
So they're walking through this desert. They don't encounter anything else. And he just walks through the desert and just happens to find the only other 2 dinosaurs of his species on this entire fucking island.
Well, they do at least give an explanation for that part of it. So as
You
he's
couldn't afford it.
walking, the rains start coming. And so he starts like trying
He's
to
like,
reach
oh
out to
shit,
the
I got
female, which they note that he can do by doing like infrasound and then communicating largely through like rattling the ground and doing low calls, which is something that large megafauna alive today, notably elephants, do. So it's entirely reasonable they could have done that. And so he manages to contact the female that way. And then we cut to another
Hail
paleontological
you up.
segment. And this is where they're talking about how
There's 2 sets of bones.
he had 2 sets of bones. And so old Grande didn't die alone. And then we
I
cut
wish he did
to
though.
Grande in the forest again. And then he finds the female. And they reconnect. But then the douchebag male's here again.
The Sigma male.
Ol NTR.
And so then they start fighting and they start like bashing into each other and then biting each other's throats.
As you do.
And then it's settled when the young male tries to pin old Grande to the ground, and he puts like almost all his weight on old Grande. But old Grande is able to pull a move on him where he like kind of slides him off, and this causes the younger male to fall backwards in such a manner that he just fucking dies.
Oh, and here comes
Yeah,
old Grande with the steel chair.
He kind of stumbles back. Old Grande gives him one more push, and then he fucking dies.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do.
But yeah. And then we cut to another paleontologist.
And I
segment.
have a theory. In the same way that Old Grande came by and broke up the fight with the Torvosauruses, I have the same theory that the rival fucking died so they didn't have to animate him walking off.
Yeah.
He's just taking a little nap. A little nap.
And then we get to another paleontologist segment where they start talking about the skull of Luciditan and how it had these hollow notches in the top of the skull like a lot of brachiosaurs do.
Hollow Knight.
And the reason they have this is, we'll see in a second.
Don't spoil it.
But then Old Grande and the female start doing dances to impress each other.
So if I may say, full stop when the video was like, however, Old Grande got a little too excited.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh,
we're not there yet.
Okay, I'll be quiet then.
I want to talk about the. I will say in this episode, once it gets past all the beat shit, it feels like something more interesting is happening.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is that it spends so much time on the beach.
Yeah, but they start doing a dance where they're like mirroring each other's
The
moves,
beach that turns you
which
old.
I think is fun. It's something that birds do today. It's something that other animals do today when like doing courtship, and I think it's fun that they're like mirroring each other's moves. But then Grande gets too excited, stops doing the dance of the mirror thing, and so she doesn't want to mate with him anymore.
Yeah, it's like he stomps too hard or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you fumbled this bitch.
I thought we were gonna have a moment where Old Grande pre-ejaculated or something, and that's what turned the late. What? What else am I supposed to think?
To be fair,
it's the obvious joke.
They did say he got a little too excited.
Yeah. Thank you, Avery. Thank you for being in my corner for once about this situation.
But then apparently,
everybody gets one.
In order to like try and win her back after kind of screwing up the dance, Old Grande pulls out what's called the trump card and
deports her.
Which is he grows balls on his head.
So apparently, like they have him have air sacs on the top of his head that he inflates.
Okay, what you need to do is you need to just mute the audio and play the animation. Just play it.
All right.
Yeah, like.
Remember, y'all ever watch Little Nicky?
Little what? Like
Little Nicky, the Adam Sandler movie.
The one where he's the Antichrist?
Yeah, the one where he's the son of the devil.
Yeah, the Antichrist.
Okay.
Yes, what about
the scene where the guy grows tits on his head?
I do not. Oh, hi, Mr. Prairie Chicken.
So this is kind of heavily where they're drawing the inspiration from. Is there's some
Yeah.
birds that have inflatable air sacs on. Sometimes it's their neck, sometimes it's the side of their head, sometimes it's their chest, sometimes it's different parts of the body. So you have the greater and lesser prairie chickens both have it. So does the sage grouse. And Nick's gonna laugh a lot because
Oh,
that's what
the,
the
sa-
sage grouse does.
the sage grouse
Ooh.
is one of my favorite birds. You fuck. I would never make fun of it.
Ooh.
I'm trying really hard not to make fun of it now. Actually.
And then there's
Oops.
the frigate bird. Yeah. So this is kind of what they're drawing inspiration from. They're also notably drawing inspiration from another paleo doc that's better that came out earlier.
I was about to say, don't write inflation. Don't do it.
No. It's like an obscure deviant art fetish.
So this is Dreadnoughtus from Prehistoric Planet, and they gave it rows of air sacs that it inflates to like as display structures.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
that's
that is worse, actually.
that's kind of heavily what they're drawing inspiration from for the Lucititan. But anyway, so he does the air sac display, and it impresses the female, and
And then we don't even get to see them fuck.
because we cut back to the
Yes.
scientists talking about how
Don't get the ovipositor scene.
these two Lucititan, one male, one female, died together, and then then it cuts back to old Grande and the female again, having laid eggs, and they're covering the nest.
They kick dirt. They bury the eggs and kick dirt into the camera as if giving us one final fuck you.
And then that's the end of Walking with Dinosaurs 2025.
It's over.
It's over.
So yeah,
We never have to. We never have to talk about dinosaurs ever again.
well, until we review a different, better Paleodoc. Generally, I have thoughts on this episode, and mostly it's I think Beth's right and how this did not flow well. And if you change the way the scenes went, it would flow way better.
I come out of this episode just feeling like it was kind of cheap.
I feel like this is like maybe
It
a
feels
C at
like
highest.
it feels like decisions were made specifically so they wouldn't have to animate additional scenes.
Yeah.
The fact that it's only got 2 dinosaurs in it, it just feels like they ran out of money.
So
It's the
I
feeling
think
I get.
the idea of you have a sauropod moving a long distance to try and connect with a mate is a good idea for an episode for a show like
Yeah,
Walking with
Yeah,
Dinosaurs.
it's not a bad idea. They were just executed poorly.
Obviously, you're going to remove a significant part of this paleontological segment. I think instead of it being Old Grande's trying to impress this female, because you have the narrative of there are two Lucititan skeletons that were found together, one male, one female. I would have approached
They
it.
were
Go ahead.
the two of them were fucking, and then old Grande's leg injury acted up, and he fell on her, and they both died. The
No,
end.
okay. I would have approached it from the angle of this. That these are an established mated pair like you find in nature sometimes, where it's like you'll find a pair of animals that just kind of like spend their lives together. I think it would have been neat if you took that angle and they're both like older individuals, one male, one female, and you have so many scenes on a beach. I want to play with that. How I would do it is, what if it's the dry season, they're trying to walk from point A to point B, and then unexpected rains come, and then a flood happens, and they get
Fuck, we did that
separated.
last episode.
And they get separated, and the plot is the pairs trying to find each other again, because so that they can
But
mate one final time, like a final time, and have offspring again.
Please just let me fuck one final time before I die.
And
No, they're separated. They're separated by the rains, but now because there's rains, the female is moist and wants to fuck. It's like, fuck, I gotta get over there.
Beth, stop.
That's literally what they said in the episode.
No, okay.
She said they wanted to wait until the rains to fuck.
All right. So the idea is, my thinking is like maybe they're moving to like the nesting grounds before the rains happen, but because they're old or something, they're moving slower, so the rains happen. And Grande, because he has the most scenes at the beach and has the injured leg, you could have a plot line where he gets washed out to sea and he swims back, but he's broken his leg in the process and like washes ashore. And then you have the Torvosaurus first scene. But it's the Torvosaurus sorry, trying to eat old Grande, right? And then you can have another plot line of the female is dealing with some other dinosaurs that would ideally show up in this episode. And then you can also even have the rival male being like, the rival male's trying to impress her to mate with her, but she's trying to like wait for Grande to show up, maybe. And then the plot line is Grande wakes up on the beach after fighting off the first Torvosaurus. You see the Torvosaurus has gone and found a different meal at the Pliosaur corpse. And then Grande shows up and starts eating the bones. And so, like, the Torvosaurus aren't necessarily... He doesn't show up just to, like, piss off the Torvosaurus. He shows up for a reason. And then you have, like, the segment of Grande and her trying to communicate with each other at distance. And then you can have a meet, and then maybe you can even have Grande and the younger male fight each other. I wouldn't have the younger male just fucking die. I'd have him, like, limp off or something. And then you can have the conclusion of they mate and have babies, and it's happy. Go ahead.
He's the only other male on the island. Now the species will die.
I think if I were to rewrite this episode, the whole episode is just big dinosaurs fucking raw and nasty the whole time.
God, I can see that coming from just a mile away.
Well, you better get some better binoculars.
See, expect, like, with Nick making sex jokes, it's almost like you're being chased by a very slow monster. And, like, if you get killed by it, it's your fault. Because you had all of the opportunity to get away.
It's like the sexually transmitted haunting from It Follows.
I mean, to be fair, do you not know about It Follows?
I have not watched It Follows.
Yeah, no, it's a horror movie.
But I know about it. I saw a review of it when it came out, but I haven't actually physically watched it.
No.
We should watch it for Halloween.
No.
Why not?
I don't actually watch horror movies.
Okay.
Anyway, Avery, you've been quiet.
D tier.
Okay. But what are your thoughts on the episode as a whole?
I think it was kind of weirdly paced, felt very cheap in a lot of places. Felt like they run out of money. Very much feels like they were really like splitting up the sections of the scientists to pad out the episode as much as possible. I really disliked this episode.
Yeah, I'll put it in a D.
Yeah, D's all of the okay. So no full offense
nuts.
to the full offense to the
Full
whole
offense.
to the 2025 Walking with Dinosaurs series. It's not a lot of them were good, and this like just was really. But at the end of the day, all the other episodes at least had multiple dinosaurs. This only had 2 different dinosaurs. Like it's just not a good episode. It's a D tier. Like,
Okay. Because even the Sauropelta Utahraptor one had technically a third dinosaur. Even though it showed up for like a glorified cameo.
mhm.
But yeah, that will be
Amen.
our definitive ranking of Walking with Dinosaurs 2025.
I don't think any of them cracked A tier.
More like
our
the
highest
crack-
our highest winners are the River Dragon and the Journey North. And I'm kind of mixed
so
on them being placed as high as they are.
Yeah, they only cracked B tier, and I don't think a single episode of the original series, in retrospect, is a C tier episode, at least on this tier list.
Like, they're at the very
just glad.
bottom of B tier. But yeah, I guess tune in next time when we probably cover. We started the Walking with Beast reviews. I don't know if we're going to continue them quite yet, or we're going to jump to like Prehistoric Park.
We cover Walking with Bestiality and get arrested by the FBI.
Tune in next time when
Don't worry, Beth. No
everybody-
one can see any
Incoming sex
YouTube
joke.
videos either. Anyway, because anything that vaguely discusses anything YouTube can vaguely flags as adult just gets shadow banned, and no one gets to view it at all on YouTube anymore.
Tune in next time where I'm hunted
Well,
for sport.
it's kind of that, and it's also that people are being put in restricted mode without their knowledge.
Yeah, that's part of the shadow banning. It's just like, yeah, you just get put in restricted mode, and then like, it's not even that it has to be explicitly adult that the content doesn't get viewed. If the content so much as discusses, even in passing, that gay people exist or violence happens on occasion or black people exist, it is considered like 18 plus adult content. Like, episodes of Sesame Street have gotten flagged from restricted mode.
Yeah, because
Fucking
it turns out
Sesame Street.
it was never about protecting the children. It was never about adult quote unquote content. It was about censorship, and it always has been.
Oh, it's that one episode where Big Bird whips his dick out. His cloaca out.
Anyway, any final thoughts on the Walking with Dinosaurs 2025?
Let's go find some dino China.
It needed more
It's
impreg.
That is my last thought. It's fucking over.
My final thoughts on Walking with Dinosaurs 2025 is, if it wasn't called Walking with Dinosaurs, I would have been more lenient on it.
No, you wouldn't have, because even if it wasn't called Walking with Dinosaurs, you would have been like the whole time we were watching. They're like Walking with Dinosaurs did this better. That's what you would have been like the whole time. Like,
I mean, not necessarily, because like I was pretty fine with Dinosaurs Roamed America.
Fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's just because it has the name and the prestige. If it was like some I don't know low budget studio we hadn't heard of before, and it was like, oh, okay, they're trying. But here I'm like, this is the BBC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a low
and
budget,
walking with rivals.
a low budget studio like Disney.
Bye.